good.
You're supposed to tell me.
You good. You good. Hold on. All right, let's clap it up. All right, Shalom, Israel. We're the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, since 1969 under Commander General Yohana. And we are here to edify the so-called Black and Latino and Native American men, woman, and child. And to wake them up from this, this deep sleep that we're in as a people. Bring them back to the law, statutes, and commandments and their heritage. And to teach them that they are the lost sheep of the house of Israel, God's chosen people. Tonight we're going to talk about Most High's word, truth, and the works, which we need as a people, because that's one thing we don't do. We don't work. We don't do the works. We claim we believe and stuff like that, but we don't do nothing that the Most High says to do or Christ says to do. We do our own thing. We do man's traditions. But in order to get out of this plight that we are in as a people, we got to start coming back to these laws, statutes, and commandments. So the Most High start hearing us and start healing us as a people spiritually, and mentally, right? You know what I'm saying? And bringing us up out of this hellhole that we're in, getting devoured by these other nations, trodden down by these other nations, and they're real crafty with it as well. You could pretend that's not, everyone's coming together. We're all big one melting pot, and God loves everyone. You know what I'm saying? But I know how you get treated at work. You know what I'm saying? The so-called Black man, so-called Latino man, Native man, what have you. You know what I'm saying? If you're amongst these other nations, they tearing you down slowly but surely. You know what I'm saying? But we just gotta, like I said, listen to the ICPK, tune in on the ICPK and follow these scriptures. The best, just try hard. You know what I'm saying? That's what the scriptures say, right? Strive to get into that straight gate. That's what it says. But tonight we're going to start in Psalms 119, 142. And you're going to see that, this is what it's all about, is the Most High's truth, his words, you know what I'm saying, these laws. That's all we need. You know what I'm saying? We had the Christian church talk about these laws are done away with, which is far from the truth, But we're going to start at Psalms 119, 142. And it reads, "Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth." That's heavy right there. It's the Most High's righteousness is an everlasting righteousness. Forever. You can't, man like to add on to it, take from it, but it says his righteousness, not our righteousness, his righteousness. Another way we could be righteous and perfect if we follow his laws, statutes, and commandments. And that's it. Not come up with our own doctrine, philosophizing, it says, let the Father be true and every man a liar, right? But this is what we have to do, Israel. You know what I'm saying? We got to read the scriptures, the way they are, and not twist them like the Christian church like to do, like the Catholic church like to do, But let's go ahead and go to 2 Samuel 7 and 28. Let's see. It's the book of Samuel, 2 Samuel, chapter 7 and 28. Got it. right. And it reads, and now, O Lord God, thou art that God, and thy words be true, and thou hast promised this goodness unto thy servant. Thy words be true. You know, we're going to read this all tonight. You know what I'm saying? So just keep on talking about the word and being truthful. His words is true, and the law. And what, of course, the law is his words, right? But, I want to say, like the ISUPK, we, what I'm saying? We are his servants. You know what I'm saying? We are his true servants today, not that Christian church, because we are out there in them streets. You know what I'm saying? Fighting against this beast. Telling our people we can't live that alternative lifestyle. But the Christian church say, "Come as you are." You know what I'm saying? They have a pastor on the pulpit. You know what I'm saying? Teaching these people when he's living an abominable life, because that's what the Most High said that lifestyle is. It's an abomination. You know what I'm saying? But yet, we, when we go out there to the highways and byways and stuff like that, and people see us out there, they call us a cult or the Black KKK and, all kinds of names and stuff like that. And we teaching hate. You know what I'm saying? We the only ones that are man enough to fight against this system, to fight against this government. You know what I'm saying? We in the belly of the beast. You know what I'm saying? Modern day Sodom and Gomorrah, to where, people, and I've seen it, I witnessed it, people be in their own house. And when they talking about, when that topic come up, you know what I'm saying? Somebody living an alternative lifestyle, they whisper it. You know what I'm saying? You look around like, there's somebody else in there. You know what I'm saying? They be all spooked and shit. Like, that's the government right there. That's how aggressive the LGBT community is. You know what I'm saying? They got people spooked. But we ain't, ISPK is not spooked. You know what I'm saying? We are not spooked about that, because we know what your demise is. We know what the future holds, you know what I'm saying, with that lifestyle. He did it before with Sodom and Gomorrah. He's going to do it again. Remember, he said he's not going to flood the earth anymore, you know what I'm saying, like he did in Noah's time. He said he's going to do what? He's going to put this mother sucker on fire with nuclear warfare, and this place have to be burnt up, because it's nothing but filled with abomination. Our kids are being failed in the schools now, and when I say our kids, it's the so-called Black, Latino, Native Americans, because I know damn well these these other nations, the East Indians, the Africans, what have you, you know what I'm saying? They're not, they're not, at a third grade level, you know what I'm saying, in high school, you know what I'm saying, as far as reading. You know what I'm saying? They're intentionally targeting us in these school systems. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially because our homes are broken anyways. So it's easy to target us, and this is their main agenda, So, these kids, they can't even, they have no substance when it comes out of, when they speak of some, they don't do anything constructive. They're just on the phone, on the technology and stuff like that, just looking at just dumb stuff. Nothing to exercise their brain. I bet you a lot of them don't even know their brain's a muscle. That's how far, we being left behind here. You know what I'm saying? And they, I don't know if anybody ever saw that movie Idiocracy, and that was back in the early 2000s, I believe. You know what I'm saying? Or about 2000 something. That was based, they knew exactly where the future was headed. And that was about our kids. They put some white folks in there to confuse the masses, the ones that are still asleep. Say, white people are, no, nigga, that's for you. You know what I'm saying? So-called Black, Latino, Native American man, woman, and child. And we steady on going down the drain, with our education. Did I finish it? Yeah. So let's go to the book of Leviticus. But like I said, we out there telling our people not to live that lifestyle, telling our people to get off drugs, while your Christian pastor, they in their comfort zone. They under that building, you know what I'm saying? who the Most High said, I forgot where it was, but he said he don't need no building. Isn't he everywhere? You know what I'm saying? But he let Solomon build it anyways, you know. But you know, they in their comfort zone. They don't want to go out there in the streets, you know, and speak against this system. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Shalom, Yahweh Shem Yahushua Barakatah to Trooper Izarwan checking in. The water Hebrew. You know what I'm saying? What I say? Leviticus, right? Yeah. Leviticus. You know, because that, you know, like I said, they failed our kids. It's because the main thing they focusing on now is teaching our kids the alternative lifestyle. And that's the main thing they focused on now. They don't care, you know, because what does they say? No, he had a short period of time. You know what I'm saying? So he doing his job. He doing what he's supposed to do. And a lot of our people are failing. You know what I'm saying? You know, it says there would be famine of the word. Kids ain't trying to listen to this word. You know what I'm saying? And the way they're going, they can't even read words anymore. I mean, shit. So, you know, the future is looking grim. It's looking straight grim, right? You know, where we go. Leviticus 18:22. And it reads, "Thou shalt not lie with mankind as with womankind. It is an abomination." There you go, right there. These are the Most High's words right here. You know what I'm saying? That he gave to Moses. And Moses is putting that law down. He said, a man cannot lie with mankind. You know what I'm saying? But yet the pastors tell you, oh, it's good. You know what I'm saying? Y'all good. Y'all want to get married, they marry him and stuff like that. You know, like the what is it? The Catholic Church. You know, they refrain from having a wife. It don't say that in the scriptures. You know what I'm saying? This how they going against the scriptures. You know, don't say that. You know, but yet you having a pandemic with them. Is it a pandemic? Epidemic? Is one of them. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? Like it could be both. You know what I'm saying? Like you know they over here. You know, can we say the M word? I forgot. They over here defiling young altar boys. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's cool that you can use defile though. You know what I'm saying? Because that could, you know, that's with the S. That goes with the S under the S too. You know what I'm saying? But straight up defiling, you know, talking about, you know, and these are man's traditions, talking about they can't have a wife, you know, in order to be a priest or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? But look at that. It says, do not lie with mankind. But yet, you know, they trying to, you know, program us with these programs, you know what I'm saying, on TV or everywhere, on any kind of ads, on your phones, whatever, you know what I'm saying, social media, you know what I'm saying, on trying to get everyone, especially our kids, to live this lifestyle. You know, and if you speak against it, you are an enemy. You know, you're going against the grain, you know. But I mean, it's high time, Israel, to wake up, you know, out of this place. You know, you got to wake up because we, like I said, the future does not look good. You know, it's not, you know, of course it's not, you know, we know the truth. You know, we know this place is going to get burnt up with nuclear fire. You know what I'm saying? We know the scripture says Christ is going to come with it. He ain't coming to send peace on earth, but a sword. We know that, you know, but you want to keep on, you know, believing in the pastor, believing in his Christian church and Catholic church, so be it. You know, that's on you. We just doing what we supposed to do. You know, we crying out loud, sparing not, and delivering you this message. You know, being prophets of the Lord of today. You know, but let's go to John 17. Seventeen. 17. John 17 and starting at 14. John chapter 17, verse 14. And it reads, I have given them thy word, and the world hath hated them, because they are not of the world, excuse me, slowly, of the world, even as I am not of the world. You know, I mean, just think about it. You know, he said, let's read that again. I have given them thy word. Who did he give the word to? His disciples, right? We are today's Christ's disciples, you know, because we continuing on this word, you know, we taking it out to the highways and byways, you know what I'm saying? And it says, and the world hath hated them. The world hate ISUPK. You know, are we not on the Southern poverty law? You know what I'm saying? Because we over here trying to raise up our people. Don't have no record of violence, you know what I'm saying, of us doing any kind of violence or anything like that. All we doing is practicing our you know, which is not even for us because we were in slavery when they did the amendment, but First Amendment, you know. But we can't even do that. You know, we can't even do that because why? You know, the truth hurt. You know, they expect us, you know, and want us to forget what they did to our people. Not all of us gonna be coons. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna be no Steve Harvey talking about oh, slavery was a long time ago. You know what I'm saying? Pathetic. He did that, you know, a few years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like talking about slavery. A white lady asked him about slavery. He was like, oh, I'll tell them slavery was a long time ago. Yeah, nigga, okay. All right. Yeah. You know, I ain't gonna say. But you know, let me see what I say. Oh, yeah. Hold on, let's go to John 12 real quick. It's about the world, I think. John 12. What does that say? 12 and 49. Let's see. Oh, yeah, because that's right. That's right. Give them the word of the world and hated, because they are not of the world. Oops. I think I lost what did I say 12? I said 12. 1249. Nah, Slack, it's okay. Yeah. Oh, no, I didn't get that. So let's continue. Verse 15, I pray not that thou shouldest take them out of the world, but that thou shouldest keep them from the evil. Remember, the world is given to the hands of the wicked. You know what I'm saying? That's why this place is evil. You know, he said, keep them disciples, keep the disciples away from that evil. You know what I'm saying? Take them out of that, you know, from the evil. They are not of the world, even as I am not of the world. Verse 17, sanctify them through thy truth. Thy word is truth. Okay, there you go. Thy word is truth. You know, sanctify them through thy truth. Thy word is truth. Once again, you got the Christian church don't want you to, you know, they speak their own words. You know, the Christian church, you know, they go, you know, they get on that, they open up that Bible, go to a verse, you know, a scripture, go to Paul or something. Yeah, they always go to Paul. I'm saying, like, Paul is like, they're Jesus. Like, you know, saying they're Christ. You know, Yahushua Mashiach to that. You know what I'm saying? That's how we know. The world ignorantly called, you know, Yahushua Mashiach, you know, Jesus. But you know, they worship Paul like that. You know what I'm saying? Because Paul teaches about the Gentiles, but they worship, you know, they have no understanding what Gentiles Paul is talking about, nor do they want to, you know, when they do get taught, you know what I'm saying, they don't want to accept it. You know why? Because they want, you know, they want that money. They want, they want that Martin Luther King dream. You know what I'm saying? All little white boys, little white girls, little black boys, little black girls, whatever, gonna be all holding hands, being one. You know what Martin wanted. You know what I'm saying? He wanted that white girl. You know what I'm saying? Hey, J. Edgar Hoover got him on tape. He got that. He tapped his phone. You know what I'm saying? He over here preaching all that shit. And he over here laying with these women. You know. And I don't know that for a fact, but that's what they said. It's on record. That's what they said. I don't know if it happened. I don't know if it happened. I'm just regurgitating what I heard, like we all do all the time. That's all we do is regurgitate shit. You know what I'm saying? But let's go to First Peter. Let's go to First Peter. First Peter. Is this you got it. First Peter 22. Oh, sluggy. Starting at year 22. All right. Shit. Let me see. That's First Peter 22. All right, this is the book of First Peter, chapter 1. Did I tell you chapter?
No.
Yeah. This is the book of First Peter. Let me wake up. Yeah. This is the book of First Peter, chapter 1, verse 22. Seeing ye have purified your souls in obeying the truth through the Spirit unto unfeigned love of the brethren. See that ye love one another with a pure heart, and fervently, that unfeigned is with an honest heart, a sincere heart towards your brother. You know what I'm saying? The fervent is with passion. Love your brother, you know what I'm saying? With passion, with a pure heart, with passion. You know what I'm saying? Intense, love. That's true brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? You die for your brother. True brotherhood. But verse 23, being born again, not of corruptible seed, but of incorruptible, by the word of God, which liveth and abideth forever. That word is not going anywhere. It abides forever. All right, verse 24. For all flesh is as grass, and all the glory of man as the flower of grass. The grass withereth, and the flower thereof falleth away. The glory of man falleth away. The glory, his honor, his praise falleth away. Right? You know what I'm saying? Verse 25. But the word of the Lord endureth forever. And this is the word which by the gospel is preached unto you. Now, the both sides said, his word endured forever. But you got, like I said, you got the Christian church saying the laws are done away with. They literally tell you that. They teach you that the laws are done away with. The Catholic Church, they teach you the same thing. Laws are done away with. They just, on another, they all Christians. They're all Christians. But if by me reading this, because we ain't making our own words. We are reading this book. And if you claim you love the Most High, you claim you love Christ, you're going to do what this book says. It's that simple. You know what I'm saying? But we got a lot of people out there that want to still be wicked. They still want to live wicked, and they turn, what I'm saying? It says what? Proverbs 28:9. If you turn from hearing the law, even your prayer shall be an abomination. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, we literally got people out there that don't want to hearken to the law, statutes, and commandments, but yet they still praying to the Most High. Acting like the Most High listening to them, But and then they have the pastor tell them, oh, that's the Old Testament. They don't believe it. Because why? You know what I'm saying? Jeremiah 17:9, the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. So you want to hear something good. So because there's law, statutes, and commandments in there, which you don't want to do. You don't want to put down that pork. You don't want to put down that shrimp. You don't want to put down that crab, lobster. You know what I'm saying? Oysters. Any kind of what else is out there? You know what I'm saying? Kangaroo? No, you can kangaroo. No, no, I don't think you eat no kangaroo. You can eat a giraffe though. You can eat a giraffe. Yeah, they part of the hoof and stuff. But which one?
Tamales. They want to put down tamales.
Well, tamales with the manteca. With the manteca. Yeah, the majority is made with it. You know what I'm saying? But they don't want to do none of that. You know what I'm saying? So what you think? What? If you don't want to do the Most High's words, you know what I'm saying, law, statutes, commandments, what makes you think that he listening to your prayers? You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Sloppy, and then those are the people who say they're praying for you. They're the first ones who say they're praying.
That's right. And then, if you still going down shit street, it's because their prayers not being answered. You know what I'm saying? Like it is what it is, But what was I going to say about that? So, if you choose to go that pastor's route, because we don't fit, we don't fit that look. We're not wolves in sheep clothing. You know what I'm saying? We rugged and raw, you know what I'm saying? Straight up. You know what I'm saying? But yet, you know what I'm saying? It says, though I be rude in speech, but not in knowledge. You go ahead and go into that Christian church, and because you want to sing and dance and stuff like that, and listen to that false pastor, speak his words and stuff like that. You know what the Christ said about those pastors? He said they're gonna come to him and say, did not cast away demons and stuff like that, do miracles or whatever, and Christ gonna say, I never knew you. What you think he gonna tell you? That's following these pastors. He never knew you. You know what I'm saying? But hey, Shalom, Yahweh Shemal Atha, Bashim Yahweh Shai, Rib of Prophet Trooper Izarwan, Precious tuning in. The water sis. You know what I'm saying? But that's that. You keep on, you want to be led astray, you want to be ate up by wolves, go ahead. Keep doing it. Keep being hard-headed, stiff-necked, as the Bible says. We are stiff-necked people. It says in Isaiah 58:1, you know what I'm saying? Israel doesn't even consider. The ox knoweth his master and the ass his master's crib. But Israel does not know. They don't consider. You know what I'm saying? These are two of the dumbest animals and shit like that, but yet they know who they belong to. Israel just want to stay lost. They want to stay lost, even when they being edified, being taught, these words. You know what I'm saying? But let's go to John chapter 8. John chapter 8. Let's see. Got it? 31. John chapter 8. This is the book of John, chapter 8, verse 31. Then said Yahushua to those Jews which believed on him, if ye continue in my word, then are ye my disciples indeed. Like I said, ISUPK, we continue in this word. You know what I'm saying? We continuing in his word, and we taking it out on the streets and waking our people up, all over this nation, all over this country, all over the world. You know what I'm saying? And this is what we're doing. We're continuing. But you got the Christian church says the law is done away with. You got the Catholic church says the law is done away with. Like I said, they are going the complete opposite of what the Most High is teaching, you know, because they're trying to confuse the masses. And when I'm talking about the masses, I'm talking about the lost sheep of the house of Israel, the so-called Black, Latino, and Native American man, woman, and child. Nobody else, no other no heathens, you know what I'm saying? No East Indians, no Arabs, no Africans, you know, the real Africans, you know what I'm saying? Not, you know, people think we part of Africa. No, the Hamites, those are real Africans, the one that put the plates in their lips, you know what I'm saying? Be blowing what they be doing? They be blowing air into a cow's butt so he can poop. Like crazy shit. Like crazy, man. Just I just don't get these fools. You know what I'm saying? They eat arms. If they feel somebody got a strong arm, they eat that arm and get that strength. You know what I'm saying? That's what Hams do. Hamites do. Africans, you know. You know, they don't even call themselves Africans. They know they ain't African. They call themselves Nigerians, Libyan, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know these niggas like that. You know what I'm saying? I've never studied no African, you know. What's African? You know? I mean, I did used to say dumb shit like, you know, because I didn't know. I thought I shit. Back in the elementary, I thought I was African, but you know, you had, you know, I end up going to elementary at a white school shit for, you know, the short time I went to 11 different elementaries. You know what I'm saying? 11, like, you know what I'm saying? Go there, you know, of course, you know, you got the white boys, you know, the white kids and stuff like that. Their number one thing was to say, hey, go back to Africa. I'll tell them, I'll say, hey, when you go back to Europe, take me with you. And they just look at me. You smart enough to think like that. I'm smart enough too, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, punk asses. Yeah, man, they just look at me dumbfounded. You know, like, did he just say that? Yeah, I just said that. You know, I know how y'all operate. You know, and then if you want to take it there, I'll whoop your ass too. Like, I'm not gonna be here long. like, you know what I'm saying? Like, shit. You know, but verse 32, and ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. You know, you do the truth. You know what I'm saying? You follow this truth, which is the law, statutes, and commandment. You're gonna build your spirit. You're gonna build your spirit. You're gonna build your by not eating, you know, certain things, because, you know, in the book of Leviticus chapter 11, you know, we got a dietary law. So you're going to start building yourself. You know, you're going to stop this, you're going to stop that, you're going to stop that. Next thing you know, your eyes are going to be open and you're going to be made free. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this is Christ's word. You know what I'm saying? Well, the Most High's word gave it to Christ, and Christ is telling you this. So he ain't lying to you. You know what I'm saying? The Most High can't lie. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, Christ can't lie. You know, and it says, and ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. You know, and you're going to find out that the Most High has a chosen people. You know, he doesn't love everyone, you know. But verse 33, they answered him, we be Abraham's seed, and we're never in bondage to any man. How sayest thou, ye shall be made free? Verse 34, Yahushua answered them, verily, verily, I say unto you, whosoever committed sin is the servant of sin. You know, and that's the thing about our people. The majority of our people serve sin. You know what I'm saying? They serve sin. In order not to serve the Most High, you got to follow his laws, statutes, and commandments. You know what I'm saying? Because sin is transgression of the law. You know, you're going the opposite way. You're not going the Most High's way. You're going the opposite way. You transgressing. You being perverse. You know, but verse 35, and the servant abideth not in the house forever, but the son abideth forever. But the Christian church say, oh, nah, the law is done away with. I still can't believe they actually says it. They say it. They tell you straight up too. Oh no, the law done away with. You know, says straight up, like evil, wicked people. You know, but verse 36. If the Son therefore shall make you free, ye shall be free indeed. Verse 37. I know that ye are Abraham's seed, but ye seek to kill me, because my word hath no place in you. You know what I'm saying? Verse 38. I speak that which I have seen with my father, and ye do that which ye have seen with your father. And who was that? The devil, the white man that the Bible speak of, the greatest deceiver that ever walked the face of the earth. Say it's not so. Now, verse verse yeah, how did I lose this? Who was that? 39? Oh no, Slocky. Verse 40. But now ye seek to kill me, a man that hath told you the truth. Straight up, they want to hear lies, like we, us, we would rather hear lies than the truth. You know what I'm saying? Like that's an evil spirit that you got on you, which have heard of God, which I have heard of God. This did not Abraham. Verse 41. Ye do the deeds of your father. Then said they to him, we be not born of fornication. We have one Father, even God. Verse 42. Yahushua said unto them, if God were your father, ye will love me, for I proceeded forth and came from God. Neither came I of myself, but he sent me. Verse 43. Oh, well, Salakia, you know what I'm saying? And surely these men knew exactly who he was, because who is he going against? He's going against the Sadducees and Pharisees. You know what I'm saying? They were, teachers of Israel. They were back then during Christ. They were so-called seers, prophets and stuff like that. What have you? So they knew who exactly Christ was, because why? They knew the Moses' laws. They knew Moses' records. You know what I'm saying? They knew Jeremiah's records. They knew Isaiah's records, and so on and so forth. So they knew exactly who he was, because in 18 yeah, we're gonna go there. We're gonna go there right now. Yeah, so after this, watch. I'm gonna show you how they knew. They knew who Christ was. Verse 43. Why do ye not understand my speech, even because ye cannot hear my word? Verse 44. Ye are of your father the devil, and the lusts of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. Verse 45. And because I tell you the truth, ye believe not. Verse 46. Which of you conceiveth me of sin? And if I say the truth, why do ye not believe me? Verse 47. He that is of God heareth God's words. Ye therefore hear them not, because ye are not of God. Bottom line. What the scriptures say also, my sheep heareth my voice. Straight up. But let's go to Deuteronomy 18. Show you this. How you knew these men, these Sadducees and Pharisees knew who Christ was. They knew exactly who he was, but they had lust of being at the top. They were under the Roman rule at that time. They were following their master, the devil. That Roman devil. And they were given somewhat, I guess you could say, freedom. Because remember in John 11:45, they said something about 45:50 or whatever. somewhere down there. They said if they keep on letting Christ do what he does, which was waking up the people, you know what I'm saying, they gonna lose their seat to the Romans. So that's why they and then what did it say? Your father was a killer from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? He was a lie, he was a thief, a killer, you know what I'm saying? Now they want to kill him as well. Because why? That's who their father is. That's who they believe in. That's, you know what I'm saying? And that's what that was about right there. But this is the book of Deuteronomy 18, verse 18. I will raise them up a prophet from among their brethren, like unto thee, and will put my words in his mouth, and he shall speak unto them all that I shall command him. And it shall come to pass that whosoever will not hearken unto my words, which he shall speak in my name, I will require it of him. Once again, pastors say, Christian church say, the laws are done away with. What did Christ say in Matthew 5:17? Think not that I have come to destroy the law. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, not one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law till all be fulfilled. That's what he said. And that was, you know, I believe that was verbatim off the top of my dome right there, you know. But yet the Christian church say, nah, the laws are done away with. You know, I mean, it works too. Because twice I got detoured from the law, you know what I'm saying, by a Christian pastor. You know what I'm saying? Like straight up. Oh no, that's not what, no, the laws are done away with. That's for the ones over there in Israel. Oh yeah, you're right. Oh yeah, I'm still going to eat that pork. You know what I'm saying? Got me one time, that first time, and he got me the second time. And that was only for the second time, it was only for like, I want to say a month or two. Then I got the truth. I was like, there it is. Most High woke me up. I knew I was on that path, man. It's on that path to wake up. You know what I'm saying? But it did take me a long time to get up in here, though. You know, it took me what? Years? Shit. It took me a while. I should have been here a long time ago. You know? Oh well, it is what it is. I'm here now, right? You know, let's go to John. The book of John. Chapter 1. The book of John, chapter 1, and verse 45. Yeah, because you're gonna see that these men knew exactly who Christ was. They were just, like I said, he said, the lust, you lusting over, you know, money and stuff, your position that you're in up under these Romans. You know what I'm saying? Just like it is said in the Apocrypha, you know, there was wicked Israel in that in those days as well. You know what I'm saying? So they started doing the same thing that they did, the customs of the heathen. You know what I'm saying? Made a gym, doing exercise in the gymnasium and stuff like that, you know, wrestling naked, working out naked. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what gymnasium means. It means naked in Greek, you know. But this is the book of John, chapter 1, verse 40, starting at verse 45. Philip findeth Nathanael and saith unto him, we have found him of whom Moses in the law and the prophets did write, Yahushua of Nazareth, the son of Joseph. Now, these are some regular cats on the street, you know. He's about to become a disciple, his disciples, what have you. They knew who he was. They knew about Moses. They obviously was reading Deuteronomy. You know what I'm saying? So the other cats, they knew exactly who he was, but they were evil. You know, they were like the Christian church today. You know, that's who they are. That's what the Christian church is today. You know, there's nothing new under the sun. You know what is it? Oh man, what is that saying? It'll come back to me. It's about the spirits. I heard Ottawa Mawakan say it. I think it was spirits are not created, they're recycled. You know what I'm saying? Some heavy stuff right there, right? Right? Spirits are not created, they're recycled. So there's nothing new under the sun. That evil spirit that was here before, it's gonna come back. You know what I'm saying? That good spirit that was here before, it's gonna come back. You know? So verse 46, and Nathanael said unto him, can there any good thing come out of Nazareth? Philip saith unto him, come and see. Now, you know, look, he said, can any good thing come out of Nazareth, right? Then Nazareth was considered like, I guess, the hood, you know, the ghetto. You know what I'm saying? And they were talking about, dang, you know, hey, look at us. Like I said earlier, you know, look at it. You know, people see us and they see how we talk and stuff like that. Oh, man, these dudes they don't have the truth. You know what I'm saying? They looking at our appearance. They're not listening to the knowledge. You know what I'm saying? That's a fool right there. Like I used to say, you know, like if I seen a 4-year-old, a 4-year-old, 5-year-old, you know what I'm saying? If this little dude is, you know, speaking the truth, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and I know it's the truth. You know what I'm saying? Because I know it's the Most High that put that spirit in that little dude for me to hear that stuff. Just like he did with the I forgot who it was, with the donkey. When the donkey kept stopping, he was like, man, why you hitting me? Don't you see that in that road? You know what I'm saying? He was like, you don't see that? The donkey spoke because the Most High made the donkey speak. He can do anything he wants. He created everything. You know? But verse 47, Yahushua saw Nathanael coming to him and saith of him, behold, an Israelite indeed, in whom is no guile. Verse 48, Nathanael said unto him, whence knowest thou me? Yahushua answered and said unto him, before that Philip called thee, when thou wast under the fig tree, I saw thee. Verse 49, Nathanael answered and said unto him, Rabbi, thou art the Son of God. Thou art the King of Israel. You know, straight heavy stuff. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, you know, Christ came from the hood. You know, he wasn't, you know, all dressed up all spiffy, you know, name where Creflo Dollar, you know what I'm saying, a TD Jakes and stuff like that. That's what they be looking for. You know what I'm saying? Christ is straight, you know, straight out the hood. Speaking the Most High's words, you know, speaking the truth. Let's see where we at now. Let's go to Psalm 119. Psalm 119. This is Psalms 119, verse 142. Salakia, we already read that one. Psalms 119, 160. Thy word is true from the beginning, and every one of thy righteous judgments endureth forever. He said his word is true from the beginning. From the beginning. You know, and it endureth forever. This endureth means it stays forever. It upholds forever. It's not going anywhere. But the Christian church will teach you that it's over with. They even put emphasis on the Old Testament. You know, shouldn't it be testaments? You know, just the Most High's testaments. That's the Old Testament. They like to put emphasis on that. That's the Old Testament. You know, doing that psychological warfare. You know, like trying to fool you. Trying to plant a seed in your head, make you think, oh, that's the Old Testament. Then you start saying that, oh, that's the Old Testament. Oh, that's his interpretation. You know what I'm saying? We start talking like these pork chop pastors. You know what I'm saying? These wicked, we say wicked is in Jeremiah. Yeah, I'm slipping my mind. But these wicked evil men. Let's go to Hebrews. Because remember, it says, thy word is true from the beginning, and every one of thy righteousness of thy righteous judgments endureth forever. So let's go see what Christ had to say about that in Hebrews. Out of Christ's own mouth. I believe it is. No. This is Paul. Salakia. Yeah, this is Paul saying. This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 13, verse 8. And it reads, Yahushai Mashiach, the same yesterday and today and forever. You know, straight up. You can't get around it. You cannot get around it. So if anybody tell you other different, get away from them. They are leading you astray. They are wicked. You know, bottom line. You know, and like I said, you know, like Psalms 142, you know what I'm saying? It's an everlasting righteousness. Everlasting, forever, everlasting righteousness. Dang, I'll forget the scripture. We were just there too. Well, we read it earlier. We read that earlier. You know, so we don't have to go back to that. But you know, let's read it again. Verse 8. Yahushai Mashiach the same yesterday and today and forever. Ain't none changed. You know what I'm saying? You can't be no pastor adding to these scriptures or taking away from these scriptures. These scriptures are here to stay forever. You know, this word, these laws, statutes, and commandments are here to stay forever. Bottom line. And when Christ come back, we still going to be doing these laws, statutes, commandments forever. You know, in the new world, which is going to be way better than this. Streets of gold. You know what I'm saying? Like, shoot, man, get this place. All Christians could keep it. You know, if you don't want to hearken to the law, statutes, and commandments, you can keep this place. You know, and the Most High gonna give it to you too. Nuclear warfare, like you know that rapture y'all teach. It's not gonna happen. You're gonna be down here watching the chariots. You all, what is that? Oh, that's right. Christ said he's gonna bring chariots. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh man, that rapture is something else. You know, rapture down here through flames of fire, rapture in their ass. You know, but let's go to what was that? Hebrews. Okay, Romans chapter 3. Let's go to Romans chapter 3. Romans chapter 3. Got it. This is Romans chapter 3, verse 31. Do we then make void the law through faith? God forbid. Yea, we establish the law. You know, you uphold the law. That's what establishes. Uphold this law. Keep this law. Have this law stay here. You know what I'm saying? And he says, you know, make void the law through faith. And faith is just believing. You know what I'm saying? In James 2:19, what does it say? Let's go there. Let's go to James 2:19 right quick. The book of James 2:19. Because that's all it is. Faith is just believing. The book of James 2:19. This is the book of James, chapter 2, verse 19. Thou believest that there is one God, thou doest well. The devils also believe and tremble. You know what I'm saying? But what the devils don't do. You want to shout at that? The devils believe, they believe in God, but what they don't do though. We've been talking about it all night. They don't do the what?
Laws. Statutes, commandments.
They don't do the works. You're right. That's the works. You know what I'm saying? They don't do the works. You know? but they do believe in God, but they don't do the works. And that's what we have to do, Israel. We got to start doing these works, dig ourselves out of this ditch that we in, But chapter 7, Romans chapter 7. So the book of Romans chapter 7. So book of Romans chapter 7, verse 7. What shall we say then? Is the law sin? God forbid. Nay, I had not known sin, but by the law. For I had not known lust, except the law has said, thou shalt not covet. What is coveting? Lusting for somebody else's belongings and stuff. Want somebody else's wife. Want their house. You coveting. You want everything that they have. Paul said he wouldn't have known that if he wouldn't have known sin. Like a Slucky, known the law. Slucky I had law. Nay, I had law. Oh, Slucky. Not known sin. Yeah, Slucky. Not known sin, but by the law. That's how he knew sin was by the law, by following these laws, statutes, and commandments. He knew that, coveting is somebody, somebody's things is a sin. Coveting is a sin. Fornication is a sin. Adultery is a sin. You know what I'm saying? What else? What else we got? What else? Gluttony is a sin. Lying is a sin. Jealousy is a sin. You know what I'm saying? You got all kinds of sins out there. You know what I'm saying? You got, these spirits, all kinds of spirits out there that are evil spirits that do all these things. They commit all these things. Alternative lifestyle is a sin. You can't be living that alphabet community lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? It is an abomination. It is a sin. We read that earlier in Leviticus 18. Was it Leviticus 18? Yeah, Leviticus 18. But like I said, if you want to continue on living wicked, it's on you, man. I pray though that you wake up to these laws, statutes, and commandments, Israel. So-called Black, Latino, Native American man, woman, and child. Let's go to Romans 1. Romans 1. Verse 25. And it reads, who changed the truth of God into a lie and worshiped and served the creature more than the creator, who was blessed forever. Amen. Yeah, I'll tell you who changed it. Christian church, Catholic church, this government. Didn't it say the world is given to the hands of the wicked, so-called white man? Because they run in the world. They run everything, right? They run this government. They run this wicked system, aka Babylon, land of confusion, spiritual Sodom and Gomorrah. I mean, it's right there in front of us. It's right there. It's a blueprint. It's a Most High says he's going to manifest everything, right? You know what I'm saying? That's who created. That's who is worshiping the creature. You know what I'm saying? They worship and serve the creature. A lot of our people are, following these other nations. You know what I'm saying? Worshiping this creature. And we trying to get you to worship the Creator. Come back to His law, statutes, and commandments. Come back to your Father, who is the Most High in heaven. Because this world right here is leading you astray, and not only that, it's leading you with fear as well. I know it's you're scared out there, but the Most High, you start listening to these laws, statutes, and commandments, He's gonna protect you. He will protect you. He's gonna cover you. He's gonna put that shield of armor around you. And take that fear out of your heart. Let's go to Galatians. Chapter 1. This is the book of Galatians, chapter 1, verse 6, starting at verse 6. I marvel that ye are so soon removed from him that called you into the grace of Christ unto another gospel, which is not another, verse 7, which is not another, but there be some that trouble you and would pervert the gospel of Christ. Paul said this back in his days. He wrote this to the Galatians. You know what I'm saying? He said they perverted the law. So if it was perverted back then, we are in a place where they kidnapped a whole nation of people, brought them over here into captivity and slavery, defiled their women, defiled their men, defiled their children, little boys and girls, built this place on blood. This place is not built on morals. It's built on lawlessness. You know what I'm saying? They make people, you can't even live comfortable here. You can't even live comfortable here. They want you to suffer. And you gonna say that these people that taught the slaves the Bible got it right? It's not perverted anymore? When they built this place on wickedness, on lies? Okay. Yeah, all right. Keep on being a fool. Keep on being a fool. You know, and they get them by Paul's scriptures. You know, which we about to go and see what Peter had to say about that in 2 Peter 3:16. Because that's what they do. You know what I'm saying? They straight up go to Paul's teachings. You know, like I said, because they deceive the people. They deceive the masses with Paul's teaching. You know, and it reads, this is book of 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 16. As also in all his epistles, speaking in them of these things, in which are some things hard to be understood, which they that are unlearned and unstable rest means wrestle, as they do also the other scriptures unto their own destruction. Got to get up out of that Christian church, people. You know what I'm saying? As soon as he opened up that book, they open up that book, Paul, get up out of there, because they go to Paul 24/7 and they don't know what the hell they talking about. Don't know what. Well, some of them do. Some of them are just vicious. They leading you astray. They sheep in wolves clothing. I mean, wolves in sheep clothing. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you want to be led astray, you know, led down that path where a pack of wolves are waiting for your ass. You know what I'm saying? That's on you. You know what I'm saying? But with that, I want to say, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua Brakatham to the brothers, Yahweh Shamar Allah Thab Ba'Shem Yahushua to the sisters. Shalom, Israel.